In 1916, a small group of dedicated golfers decided to turn their passion into a business. And the PGA of America was born. Our plan was to teach golf and to run golf courses. But along the way, we learned we taught something much more valuable than a game. And we built something far more enduring than clubhouses or fairways. So now, after almost 100 years, we've come to realize that what we thought would be a success story has always been, and always will be, a love story. From the 28,000 dedicated professionals at the PGA of America to the 27 million men, women, and children who share the passion that is our business. Thank you.
Minneapolis, Minnesota, mid-sized market with metropolitan sizzle, gleaming skyline, and the Mall of America. Vibrant art scene, major league sports teams, and great golf courses led by Hazeltine National. What the golf season lacks in length, it makes up for in enthusiasm. The Professional Golfers Association of America presents the season's final major, Glory's Last Shot. The 91st PGA Championship from the Hazeltine National Golf Club in Chaska, Minnesota. Forever Yang. Hello friends, I'm Jim Nance and welcome to scenic but menacing Hazeltine National, an oversized course that might have been designed by local folk hero Paul Bunyan rather than Robert Trent Jones Sr. and son Reese. Hosting its fourth men's professional major championship, Hazeltine has been stretched to 7,674 yards, longest ever for a major. 3 par 5s are longer than 600 yards. The strongest field in professional golf, 97 of the top 100 in the world rankings, will take its best shots at this challenge. Can Tiger Woods, a 4-time PGA champion with 14 professional majors on his resume, save his major season? He's coming in with a hot hand, and in 2002 at the PGA here, he birdied the last 4 holes to make a torrid run at winner Rich Beam, but came up a stroke short. Can defending champion Padraig Harrington of Ireland repeat? He's coming off his best showing on tour this season. Can the ever-popular Phil Mickelson, the 05 champion, contend after an extended layoff due to family illness? Will we see another 2009 first-time major winner like Lucas Glover in the U.S. Open and Stuart Sink in the Open Championship? The foreign entry, as usual, is loaded with potential contenders. Argentina's Angel Cabrera put on a Masters green jacket last spring to go with a previous U.S. Open title. Australia's Jeff Ogilvy has won a U.S. Open, while Sweden's Henrik Stenson, winner of this year's Player Championship, might think it's a home game playing in front of Minnesota's Swedish-accented galleries. South Africa sends former major winners Retief Goosen and Ernie Els. Fiji's Vijay Singh is a 2-time PGA champion and still a threat at age 46, as are Ireland's mop-haired young star Rory McIlroy and Japan's teen sensation Yo Ishikawa at 17, the youngest PGA competitor ever. Virtually anyone in the top 100 could contend and end up holding up that cherished Wanamaker trophy at week's end. We expect another pulsating finish, so let's get out to the action. A glamour pairing of PGA champions Beam, Harrington, and Woods going off 10T attracted a huge gallery Thursday morning. The popular Beam may have won less than the other two, but relished his role on the big stage. Harrington's one bad hole cost him victory over Woods the week before. While the world number 1 was riding a wave of 3 straight tour wins, he was up before dawn working out at a local health club. With the tee moved up on the long par 4 12th. Friendly rivals Harrington and Woods hit and held the rain-softened green. Both sank birdie putts to go under par. The longest par 5 in major championship history, playing 651 this day, was supposedly unreachable, so Woods walloped a 280-yard 3-wood into the back bunker, got up and down, and was 2 under par after his birdie. Harrington parred but picked up a stroke with this birdie putt on 16. Woods scrambled for pars before getting to the par 4 second, where he poured in this uphill 20-footer for birdie. Helped by a happy carom off a tree on the par 5 third, he lined up another birdie putt and rolled it in, and now 4 under. Defending champion Harrington would match that with a cross-handed method and was now -3. Woods putted for eagle at the par 5 7th, leaving his downhill effort just short and tapping in to go 5 under and into the lead by himself. At the 9th hole, the group's last, Harrington 2-putted for par and a round of 4 under 68. He liked the way he was playing.
About 6 weeks ago, I got to the end of struggling to find exactly what I wanted to work on in my swing, and once that's cleared up, I start working back on my short game, and it's been sharp.
With Beam at 71, the group was a combined 10 under. Tigers bogey-free 67, leading the way.
I was just very comfortable with what I was doing today. Patty and I were saying, we don't see this many pins that are 6, 7, and 8 from the side. But you can make birdies. You can be a little bit more aggressive going into some of these flags. You don't have to be as conservative.
Most of the better scores Thursday came in the morning. At 3 under, Australia's Robert Allenby, Spain's Alvaro Quiros, longest driver of the week, averaging 320 yards, and Hunter Mahan of the United States Ryder Cup team. Joining them on the scoreboard was Matthew Goggin, 5th at the Open Championship. The main afternoon attraction was the traditional grouping of the year's major champions. The first hole played the hardest on the front 9, and Masters winner Angel Cabrera's drive bounded into a fairway bunker. U.S. Open winner Lucas Glover barely found the fairway. And the Open Championship winner Stewart Cink's ball sank into deep rough. Avid reader Glover read his birdie putt perfectly. The hard-to-know Cabrera parred. Twitterer Cink double bogeyed the first. Cabrera double bogeyed the par 3 4th when he validated claims that the long bunker shot is the toughest shot in golf. Cink, already 3 over, did worse out of a bunker on 5.
Oh, was that a shank?
After going 5 over on 5 holes, Cink played his last 13 and 4 under for a brave 73. Cabrera shot 76, Glover 71. Mickelson was 2 over at the monstrous 15th, where he hit a big drive that set him up to go for the par 5 and 2. But he pushed his 3-wood into the crowd and wound up with a 5 and a round of 74. Vijay Singh has switched, or is it switched back, to a shorter putter. It worked on this birdie putt at 9, and he was 2 under. ...2001 winner David Toms eased this long birdie putt on 14 to get to 3 under, where he finished. The 16th hole is a thing of fearful beauty on Hazeltine Lake, requiring 2 precise shots. Singh's 9-iron from the first cut was very precise. And then some. No putting issues here.
Yeah, if you get yourself in good position, you're able to give it a good stroke at it. I hadn't been putting well all year, and I'd been struggling with my game, but I worked really hard all these months before, and finally it's coming together.
Woods hit 12 of 14 fairways and 15 greens. Singh scored best in the PM wave. 43 players finished at par or better. Beam was a strong third fiddle in his group. And Mickelson worked on his putting till dark.
We started out Monday in the community having just a fantastic morning with the youth clinic at the Shaska Par 30 course. We had more than 200 juniors participate with 30 of the Minnesota PGA section professionals. Then in the afternoon we went to Play Golf America Day, and we had more than 200 people participate and work on their games at different levels, whether driving the ball or hitting short shots or putting the ball. There is the American Express Learning Center right at the main entrance to the facility. We had more than 30 of the Minnesota section PGA professionals working with individuals, and it's a great way to go in, work on your short game. There's a putting green in there, a small chipping area. You can have your swing videotape and enhance in 10 to 15 minutes their playing ability. More than 126 charities have benefited. Over 3,500 tickets were given away for charitable use in the community to bring those people into the game of golf and to this championship.
Yeah, high five? All right.
Singh held it together Friday with a par round in hot, swirly winds, and was joined at 3 under by Brendan Jones, an Aussie who prefers the less stressful Japanese tour, and Glover, who prefers the tougher conditions of the majors. South Korea's Y.E. Yang, ranked 110th in the world, made his presence known with an eagle putt on 7. Working his way back to 2 over. On the par 4 14th, set up at a drivable 299 yards, Yang got up and down for birdie to be under par for the championship. He would finish with a 70 and a 143 total, 1 under. The leader, Woods, missed the fairway on number 1, was short with his second, and had this 9-foot putt for par. His first bogey of the week. He would par the next 4 holes, then followed a nice approach at the 6th with this birdie putt. To get back to 5 under, where he started. He was on the fringe of the downhill par 5, 7th, with a driver and 7-iron, putting for eagle. A smooth birdie that would increase his lead over Harrington to 2 when the Irishman struggled to make a par that was almost worse when he mishit his chip. This shot had a similar look for Harrington to one he faced the week before at Firestone at a World Golf Championship event when he chipped from behind the green and over into the water, leading to an 8 in a head-to-head battle against Tiger. Perhaps the nerves were still jangled, as this time he was able to escape with a par with this putt. At the 9th hole, Harrington stuck his short iron approach inside Tigers. And made the birdie putt. When Tiger missed his, the margin was 1. Tiger had 148 yards downhill for his approach, starting the second 9. He misjudged the wind and came up short. He 3-putted for bogey and fell back into a tie for the lead. The defending champion was in trouble on the 600-yard par 5 11. And eventually missed his putt to save par. Woods making his par with 2 putts from 50 feet. It's Woods by 1 again. England's Ross Fisher is becoming a mainstay on majors leaderboards. He birdied the testing 16th to tie Tiger's lead. However, Fisher's dinner wouldn't taste as good after a bogey-bogey finish. But he couldn't be too unhappy with a 68 that put him in play after 2 rounds. And he was only one of a strong field from around the world.
With 69 international players representing 21 countries, the PGA Championship has a more global field than any other golf event in the United States. This year, we're covered in more media platforms than ever before. 28 hours of high-definition coverage domestically, 200 territories worldwide with a total audience of 580 million households, 74 hours of multi-platform media coverage, DirecTV, Sirius satellite radio, and in the media center alone, there were 870 journalists. This week, we also made an historic announcement. 9 of the leading PGAs of the world have teamed together for accelerating the great growth of this game around the globe.
Of course, the road to the title still went through Woods, who kept his round going with a tense par putt at 12, lipped out a birdie putt on 13, and then cut this wonderful 3-wood tee shot just over the green at the 14th. His 35-foot putt for eagle came agonizingly close. A birdie for 6 under par. The 15th, 640 wearing yards. Harrington drove into a bunker on an uphill lie, 301 yards from the green. His risky 3-wood was the shot of the day. Tiger told him he'd have paid to see it. Harrington replied with a grin, "Give me $50 bucks." Tiger's chop chip for eagle was impressive in a different way. Back-to-back birdies, 7 under. Harrington's putt for eagle. Rims away, but birdie for -4. Tiger backed away from a 17-foot birdie putt at 16 as the wind gusted. look out. 3 birdies in a row. His lead up to 4. Tiger being Tiger. They parred 17, then a blocked second led to this chip. That raced 9 feet past. Harrington's turn. He chipped closer, but both would miss and make bogey.
It was tough getting out there. The wind was blustery. It got off to a poor start, but just kind of hung in there. And with the wind's supposed to be up again tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens.
All 8 times Woods has led a major at the halfway point, he's gone on to win. Harrington putted out and trailed by 4. Through 2 rounds, Woods had padded his lead despite bogeying 1 and 18. An underrated Yang was striking the ball sharply. Ryder Cup captain Pavin showed his team how. Young McIlroy was playing up to his vast potential. And some big names were falling dangerously behind. The cut came at 4 over par, and going home early were the likes of Sergio Garcia, Steve Stricker, and Adam Scott. Making the cut, however, was 17-year-old Japanese sensation Yo Ishikawa, the youngest to make the cut in championship history. One thing that makes the PGA so unique is having a roster that includes 20 PGA Club professionals competing with the world's best. At Hazeltine, 2 made the cut.
For me, it's just a learning experience. Just to be able to represent, the PGA of America as a club professional and hopefully fare okay, is quite a treat for us.
Greg Visconti took this year's honors as low PGA Club professional.
Every kid's dream on the putting green is, I've got this to make the cut at the Open, the PGA, whatever it may be, and I did it. I made a putt to qualify, and being a low club pro is icing on the cake.
Saturday's 3rd round, and Soren Kjeldsen, one of 3 Danes in the field, winner of the rich season-ending event on the European Tour. He was 3 under Saturday with a birdie on the 2nd hole.
Ladies and gentlemen, first on the tee, the 1999, 2000, 2006, and 2007 PGA champion from Windermere, Florida, Tiger Woods.
Half the population of Minnesota seemed to crowd the first hole as the final pairing teed off. Woods driving it just into the left rough.
And the 1998 and 2004 PGA champion from Fiji, Vijay Singh.
Singh hit the fairway, and both players would par the first. Glover was driving the ball in the fairway all week. His approach shot to the 2nd. Just short of perfect. A birdie to 4 under, 3 behind Tiger, temporarily. Tiger's 9-iron would dance nearly as close at the second. He too birdied, -8. Sweden's Henrik Stenson won the Players' Championship. He had this putt for birdie at 9. His 4th birdie of the day got him to 3 under. A 37-year-old Yang didn't take up the game until he was 19. His second shot on the par 5-7. A shot that winked at the water, but stayed dry. He made an adventurous birdie, exhaled deeply, and was 3 under. He parred 8, and then at the 9th, made birdie to turn and 3 under 33. Yang charging up the leaderboard. Big Ernie Els, always a gallery favorite, was one of 20 major champions making the cut. His approach at the 9th. Three under. Playing alongside Els, Kjeldsen made his testier birdie putt, and he too moved to -3. Harrington, also at 3 under, was hole high in 2 at the 585-yard 7th. Demonstrating a deft touch this time. Harrington picking up momentum. A birdie at the 7th, and then a birdie putt on the way at the par 3 8th. To 5 under par and on the move. The 7th ranked as the second easiest Saturday, playing mostly downwind. Glover wanted better on his 3rd from the bunker. But good enough to facilitate a birdie for a 500 total and just 2 off Tiger's lead. Singh took his bite out of the 7th when he chipped for eagle. And sank it to his and the enthusiastic crowd's delight. He was 4 under. Kjeldsen's 3rd shot on the par 5 11th. And it settles close for a chance at a 3rd straight birdie. Els followed his lead. Both with birdie in this pairing. Kjeldsen to -5, Els to -4. Woods led it by 2 as he approached the turn in the 3rd round. Glover parred 8 and 9, but misjudged the wind and put his 2nd in the sand at number 10. He had a long putt for par. That wasn't close, and he suffered his first bogey of the third round. The 512-yard par 4 12th would yield only 3 birdies this day. One of them belonged to Ernie Els. A brilliant chip in. He would get to 6 under before bogeying the last 3 holes for a round of 70. Stinson had a putt for eagle. And would head into the fierce home stretch with an unstressful birdie at 15. Harrington was hanging around near the lead, looking dangerous. Last year's winner birdied 11 to trail Woods by only 1. At 15, Y.E. Yang holed his birdie putt on the 642-yard par 5. And then followed it up with 16. And this breathtaking shot. Nearly holing his wedge before making the putt for his 3rd birdie in a row, now at -6. Harrington said he likes to take on Woods head-to-head, but was a hole in front, putting for a birdie at 14. That tied him with Tiger for the lead at 7 under. Tiger was staying ahead with a play-it-safe game plan that produced 9 straight pars. He responded at 14 by driving it hole high in the first cut of rough on the left, but overplayed his eagle chip into the first cut on the right and left himself a bellied wedge from a dubious lie and played with Tiger-esque mastery back in the lead by himself. Yang parred 17 and drove into a bunker on 18, but came out the right distance. And chipped close for his par. He was in with a 67 that tied Woods for low round of the week and looking unflappable. Tiger parred 15 and hit 7-iron for his 180-yard approach on the 16th. Pulling it drastically into a drop area near the packed bleachers. What might have posed a daunting prospect was no problem for a premier recovery artist. He got up and down to save his par and his lead. Can you say clutch? Harrington's 3rd at 18 gets away and would cost him his only bogey of the day. And a spot in Sunday's final pairing with Woods when he fails to make the putt.
you know, sometimes when you do get off to a shaky start, but you make a few pars, you feel better for it. And, you know, then I did start playing well, and I was obviously, you know, I'd hold a few putts, so I was feeling good about things.
Glover's birdie putt on 18 would run out of energy. He tapped in for par, a 71, and a 212 total that tied Stenson for 4th place. With light rain falling, Woods parred 17, blasted a 3-wood off the tee on 18, and followed with a 180-yard 7-iron for the second time in 3 holes. This one turning out much better than the one over at 16. Singh, though, would top him with this approach at the final hole. He'd missed a number of short putts on Saturday, but could make that one. Even so, he shot 40 on the second 9, dropping from a tie for 2nd to a tie for 18th. Woods took his time with his 9-footer for birdie. But it skimmed the cup. His lead was cut in half Saturday, but he was positioned to lead the championship from wire to wire.
The golf course I thought was playing a little bit more difficult, and you know, I had the lead, so I played conservative today. I didn't give myself a lot of looks. You know, I had good makeable putts. I was lag putting a lot, and other than that, it was I think a pretty good solid day.
Woods has never played with South Korea's Yang. They will on Sunday. Kyrgios, a fresh crowd favorite with his power and smile. Pavin, nearly twice Kyrgios' age, half as long off the tee. Italy's Molinari led in driving accuracy. Pavin was second in that category. Ishikawa acquitting himself well for a 17-year-old. An annual part of PGA Championship Week is when the PGA of America presents its highest individual honor, the Distinguished Service Award.
Dr. William, or as we know him, Bill Powell.
The 2009 recipient was William Powell, who has served more than 60 years as a living compass in guiding players of all abilities and color. Like its noble architect, Clearview Golf Club has provided a sense of history to better understand the game of golf.
This evening gives me the honor of thanking everybody who has had anything to do with my efforts in golf over my lifetime.
It's Tiger Woods against the world of golf these days, more literally than usual, for the final round in this, the 91st PGA Championship. 10 nations are represented at the top of the leaderboard, including South Korea with Tiger's late-blooming fellow competitor in the last pairing, Y.E. Yang. Woods lost half of his 4-stroke lead in the 3rd round, but is in position to improve his peerless record. A victory would raise his total of professional majors to 15, just 3 short of Jack Nicklaus's record, 18. He would tie Nicklaus and Walter Hagen with his 5th PGA. The Venerable Championship has produced stirring finishes all decade long. Another one would be no surprise, so let's get out to the action. Overnight showers left behind winds gusting over 20 miles an hour. Yo Ishikawa's head cover looked familiar. His 3rd shot at 16 was worth several thumbs up. And a birdie. He would shoot par 72, a total of 296. Quite a showing for a 17-year-old. Woods has been in the last pairing in a major 17 times, winning 14. Yang never in a final pairing in a major. Tiger's closing stroke average nearly 4 strokes better than his opponents. He hit 3-wood at the downwind 490-yard first into the first cut of rough on the right. Yang followed. A confident swing. And was in the fairway. Woods played an educated draw with a 7-iron from 184 yards. Six feet away from a quick birdie. Yang's lengthy putt at the first for birdie. It looked good most of the way. A steady par to stay 6 under. Tiger's putt was in a range where he rarely misses. But he seemed to misread it. It wouldn't be the first time on this Sunday. Ireland's hope for the future, Rory McIlroy, double bogeyed that first hole, but birdied number 3 and putted over a ridge for another birdie at the 4th. Holding it to dip under par. Three in a row. Why not? He was 2 under in the passing lane. Stenson's game plan was to be within 3 going to the second 9. He parred the first, but went from bunker to bunker on the second. And missed the par putt. Back to 3 under. U.S. Open winner Glover started par and stiffed his 3rd shot on the par 5 3rd. Leads to a birdie, and Lucas Glover threatening at 5 under. 2 pure iron shots put Woods 18 feet under the hole, putting for birdie on the par 4 second. And again, not quite. Yang also parred. Yang short iron 3rd on the 627-yard 3rd hole. Jerking it back as if remote control. He said he didn't sleep well, but showed no signs of shakiness going up against the player of the era. Yang's ball alignment line for the birdie putt was accurate, led to a good stroke and changing leaderboards. Glover's second at number 5 wouldn't have been bad in a darts game. He birdied to 6 under. Just ahead, Els had made 5 straight pars, needed this putt to save another. Dropped to 2 under as the greens continued to befuddle the world's best. Watch Woods for par at the 4th. A 3 putt, and he dropped into a tie for the lead with Yang at -7. Harrington and Glover 2 back. Yang parred 4, then missed the green on the 438-yard 5th. flying his recovery try too far. This time, his alignment line might have been true, but his stroke wasn't. Woods parred and went back on top. Glover was bunkered in 2 on the par 4 6th hole. And he solved the first part of an up and down. But was robbed on the down part. He also bogeyed 2 of his next 3 to fall away. No one could forget the intensely focused Harrington, 6 under, playing his second shot to the 6th. And staring it down in Birdieville. He settled for par with misfortune soon to strike. At Turnberry, Lee Westwood finished 1 shot out of the Open Championship playoff between Stuart Sink and Tom Watson and had a birdie putt on 11 here at Hazeltine. To go 3 under. Kelson offset a bogey-bogey beginning with birdies on 4 and 5. And then died a birdie putt on 7 right into the hole. 4 under in a tightening chase. Yang and Tiger parred 6. Then Yang's second shot on the par 5 7. It sailed deep into the massive gallery. His third would be nearly impossible to stop.
Nice shot.
From there, he would 2-putt for par, remaining 6 under. Woods laid up on his second and then left his sand wedge mysteriously 35 feet short. 2-putting and staying at 7 under. Still looking for his first birdie of the final round. You have to see what's coming to believe it, and maybe we'll need to rerun it. After 7 pars in a row, Harrington knocked down a 3/4 6-iron at the 8th, feeling he had to go for the teasing flag. Remember, he had made 2 here the day before. Later saying it wasn't enough club and the wind died just as he swung, short into the watery grave, and now after a drop, pulling a tricky 3rd. Nearly hitting fellow competitor Stenson, who thought he was standing well out of the way. From dense rough, Harrington next. Flew the green and went back in the water. Took another drop.
And as you might expect, this is going to come short.
That was just all arms, no legs. What was that?
It was a killer hole. He wrecked a final round in contention with an 8 for the second week running, tumbling from 1 behind to 6 behind. Woods by 1 over Y.E. Yang, with Kelson holding on the 3rd 3-back. The final pairing tried its luck in the baffling wind. Yang is known as, quote, son of the wind in South Korea for his proficiency in it, and parked it close at the 8th. Tiger found the left bunker. His out was hard to control. And from just off the green, he 2-putted for bogey. Yang with a chance for a 2-shot swing. but failed to convert his birdie putt. A par, and now the game is a dead heat. McIlroy was just in front of the green on the drivable 14th and gave his eagle putt a good chance. A lot of bounce in that youthful stride as he moves to 3 under. The co-leaders parred 9 and 10. Tiger aided by a lucky bounce off a tree on 10. He reached the green on this long par 5 11th by crunching a 3-wood, then lagged his eagle putt, leading to his first birdie since the 14th hole on Saturday, regaining the sole lead as Yang parred. But next came the hardest hole of the week, a perilous 515-yard par 4. And Tiger, with bogey, fell back into a tie with Yang at -6. Westwood's third at 18. Almost a pitch-in birdie. This for a par for a round of 70 and a 285 finish, -3, that would tie for third in the end. Yang and Woods parred 13. Woods missing an 8-footer for birdie, but 14 was set up for excitement. Yang figured Tiger would birdie after his bunker shot and that he needed to chip it close.
It's a good one. It's very good. It's a really good one.
Oh my goodness.
It's wonderful.
The third eagle of the day at 14, and by far the most critical one. Tiger did make his birdie, but was out of the lead for the first time since the 14th hole on Thursday. Their virtual match play battle continued. Yang up by 1 and looking composed. At the 18th, McIlroy for par. What a comeback for the young Irishman. After a double bogey on the opening hole, he was 4 under the rest of the day, shot 70. Barely 20 years old, he finished all 4 majors, was 10th at the U.S. Open, and 3rd here, sharing it with Westwood. Woods and Yang putted for birdie on the 16th. Woods having to work harder. Two pars, a single stroke separating them head-to-head, 2 holes to play. Yang's swing improved in 2009 when he weakened his grip. A smooth 7-iron here at the 17th, hung up in the wind. It was on line, but a long way away on maybe the toughest green of all at Hazeltine. An opening here, perhaps, for Tiger? He too hit 7-iron, but took off with an opposite gust of wind from Yang's and overshot its mark. Tiger chipped back to 10 feet. Now the crucial par putt. Narrowly missing. Frustration growing. But Yang trying to avoid a 3-putt. It remained a 1-stroke game with 1 to play. Both drove well on 18. Yang chose a 3 hybrid for his 210-yard shot over a tree to a 3-tiered green. It was the perfect club. for the shot of a lifetime. Pressure on Tiger, and he went for the flag. Into an unsavory lie. The world number one was now in the desperate position he usually puts opponents in against an unfazed world number 110. To have any chance, Tiger had to chip in. Gave it a bold go. And now Yang was only 8 feet away from history. Giving Asia its first major champion. One of the greatest golf upsets of modern times, if not all time. For Woods, it was merely the painful formalities of finishing a clear and clearly exasperated second. He needed 33 putts Sunday, his most of the week.
I just had a terrible day on the greens, and I had it at the wrong time. Either I misread the putt or hit bad putts. I didn't make anything, except for the 14th hole. I had plenty of looks. I was certainly in control of the tournament for most of the day. I did everything I needed to do except for getting the ball in the hole.
YE, on behalf of 28,000 PGA members from all across this country, I want to congratulate you on winning the 91st PGA Championship. Congratulations.
On the 14th hole, I was in a slightly better position than Tiger, but I just tried to leave the ball as close as possible. When it went in, I was just so happy. Beating the strongest field in golf makes the win that much more special. Beating the #1 golfer in the world makes it even sweeter. It's just a culmination of all the support I've received from my family, my friends, and my fans, and I'm just so grateful right now.
Tiger now trails Nicklaus in finishing second in majors 6 times to Jack's 19. Els showed a flash of his old form, but shot 74 on Sunday. Harrington was one horrific hole from a high finish. And how about the gritty little 49-year-old U.S. Ryder Cup captain, Corey Pavin? Visconti was low PGA Club professional. Join us next year at Whistling Straits in Kohler, Wisconsin for the 92nd PGA Championship.